Hi, welcome to the Attack the Rack podcast, along with my co-host Ryan Klingler. My name is Curt Van Hecken, sipping on a cocktail. Shout out to my cuz Fuzz.
Welcome to the Attack the Rack podcast. I am your host, Curt Van Hecken, and you are tuning in to the number one rated podcast on the planet, based on the people that rated it number one. The Attack the Rack podcast is brought to you by Get to 2 Media.
Attack the Rack fans, say the sun's out, the rays are out, and it's important when you are outside to protect yourself from the sun's rays. One way to protect your eyes from the rays is by wearing sunglasses. Today's program is sponsored by Sunglasses, and I've been wearing them for 37 years. You should too.
All right, let's start with the top 3 winner from last week. We did the top 3 coffees. Coffees kind of on the go.
Yeah,
coffee's on the go. My choices were McDonald's, Burger King, and Meijer. Yours were Dunkin' Donuts,
Yep.
Speedway, and Bigby.
Yeah.
I won.
Yeah, landslide looked
By
like
a landslide. 73% of the vote went to the McDonald's, the trio of McDonald's, Burger King, and Meijer.
I think McDonald's is probably the number one.
Yeah.
I think I talk to people, they like their quick coffee.
Yeah.
McDonald's.
Well, and I think, you did kind of stipulate coffees on the go.
Yeah.
I mean, is there's not much. I mean, I think McDonald's is
No, their
clear
coffee,
number one.
clear number one. And if you get on their app, you can get it for $1.
Yeah, you
Pretty much
mentioned that.
every day. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Ryan, before we get into the program today, I had a really weird thing happen to me. Quite typically, during the night, I usually got to get up one time to go urinate.
Use the restroom?
Use the restroom.
Okay.
2 nights ago, I woke up, had to go, went to the bathroom. I had no clue what time it was. And on my way back from the bathroom to my bedroom, I said to myself, I'm going to guess what time it is. And I guessed 2:12 a.m. And when I got into my room and checked my phone, the exact time was 2:12 a.m.
Kind of interesting.
Have you ever had anything as crazy as that happen to you before?
Oh, Curt. What are
That's
they probably
crazy.
call that like a little deja vu
Or I don't know, something
where
with
you
brain
kinda-
waves
yeah,
or
where you
something.
just kind of have a little something crazy happen, but then it kind of comes back and
I wish I could do the same thing with picking like the daily 3 numbers instead of the
or
3.
those big Mega Million numbers
Yeah.
last week, huh?
Oh yeah. So hey, I'm gonna try that again, and let's see if I can see how consistent I can be with that.
I'm gonna say you won't be close the next
Yeah,
time.
I mean that's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so hey, have you watched any of the episodes of Quarterback on Netflix?
I'm about halfway through the first episode.
Okay, and I'm
Yeah.
only on episode 3, but
Okay.
it's really good. Obviously, it's been number 1 on Netflix for quite a while. Everyone's talking about it. It is really good. Features Patrick Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, and Marcus Mariota.
Yes.
What do you? So you're only a half episode in. So you probably have they even touched on all 3 of the guys yet in that first half of that first
I think
episode?
so. I think I've hit all 3 who are in there, and I think obviously the enticing part is, again, you're getting an inside look at kind of not only the football side,
Yeah.
but kind of what they do outside of football, what's going on, how they handle some things. So, I'm excited to get into that this evening a little bit, and then I'll have some time traveling where hopefully I'll be able to save it, download it onto my phone, and finish watching it.
Yeah, the Kirk Cousins part is pretty cool for us, being that he's from our area. Yeah. So you haven't gotten to this part too, but they do at least one scene that I've seen so far. They from his house just down the road from here on Lake Michigan. That's pretty cool. But that guy has just been growing on me. Kirk, if you're watching, I owe you a big apology. I was not a fan of yours, but for not the greatest reasons. You went to rival high school of ours. You went to Michigan State University. We're Michigan fans, so because of that, I held those two things against you for years.
Wow.
But I gotta tell you, the last couple of years, you've been growing on me, Kirk. I've become quite a fan, and seeing you on this docu-series now, just seeing your true personality, great guy. Doesn't get caught up in the fame, doesn't get caught up in the money. Just a solid player, gives it everything he's got every single day.
Yeah.
And I know you've met him a couple times.
Yeah, and yes, obviously he's obviously a generous guy in our community, and probably in Minnesota as well. And it's to anybody out there, these guys are all giving it their all for the most part. You think, right?
Yeah.
So he's obviously maybe not had as much success as he would like in the postseason.
Right.
But that's a rare and limited ability to have that success, and it's usually a team effort, not one particular player. So.
Well, yeah. Hey, Kirk, one more time, my apologies, and we'd love to have you on the show.
Oh, wow. Throwing the invite out there.
So also featured Patrick Mahomes, phenomenal player. The term GOAT has been thrown out for his name. Probably a little premature, but not to take anything away from him. Great player, a lot of fun to watch. Very unique style of play. Definitely does some things at the quarterback position that we've never seen before.
Yeah, I'm going to call it right now. I think this year he throws a behind-the-back pass in a game.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, watch out for it.
I wonder if you can bet on that.
Yeah, I bet you could probably somewhere.
Yeah.
That'd be good odds.
Yeah, but no, great player, a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah. Got to win a couple more championships to get into probably the GOAT realm, but he's up there. I think he's chasing Tom.
Yeah, he's got one.
Oh, is that all he has?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He's been to two, lost to the Bucks, and then
you
last
sure he
year.
only has one?
Yeah, right.
Really? I thought he had two.
We'll have to fact check that.
Dale, you get on that?
Yeah, Dale, get on that.
Thank you.
You get your phone?
I don't actually. Put it down for you. Dale's got some work to do.
Okay. Well, anyway, definitely a long ways away from Tom Brady, even a step or two away from Joe Montana.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, speaking of quarterbacks, number 1 draft pick Bryce Young, first overall pick. Carolina Panthers just signed his contract. I believe it's 4 years, $37 million, I believe. 27 of that is a signing bonus.
Oh wow!
And I believe the entire contract is guaranteed.
Okay.
So.
But he's getting paid $10 million for like 4 years.
Yeah, which that's a pretty good rookie contract.
Is
First,
it?
Yeah.
Plus you get the 27 million signing bonus. I mean,
and
neither of us are turning that down.
No, and he is projected to be the starting quarterback.
Okay.
They do have Andy Dalton in case things get a little.
If you're getting paid $37 million, you better find a way to start.
Yeah. And then also last week we talked about the Detroit Lions for a majority of the episode.
Yeah.
That episode, for me, really kind of kicked off the football season for me. It's all football. We're going to probably now for the next several months, a majority of the podcast here is going to be about football, college football, NFL football. We will have some guests. We're going to have a guest come on in a few weeks to talk fantasy football. And then we do have Peter Hunsberger, the Attack the Rack football analyst, who will be joining us here and there throughout the season to talk some football.
How is he going to join us via
Zoom?
Via Zoom.
Via Zoom.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
So we'll look forward to that. But I know you were just watching a story about the running back drama going on in the NFL.
Yeah. I mean, we've been around long enough, Kurt, where we've seen, I think in the heyday where the running backs were the main offense,
right?
Like the main player,
right?
Obviously, in the last five years, that's probably shifted more to the quarterback and receivers,
and even tight ends.
Yes, and probably away from the running backs. So, the show we were watching was kind of just talking about how were the running backs undervalued, underappreciated. What do you think?
Well, here's the thing. I heard something today. It's been 10 years. It's been since Marshawn Lynch with the Seattle Seahawks was the last time a Pro Bowl running back won a Super Bowl.
Wow.
So that I think that speaks volumes as to how the role of the running back has diminished over the years.
Yeah. Wow, that's interesting.
I also think the role of the running back or the importance of a single running back has been diminished because so many teams, follow the running back by committee strategy now, or at least have, a second running back that gets a lot of carries, or third, the role of the third down back maybe is
even
more than just like, hey, we need someone to block on third down. We need a running back that can go out and catch some passes on third down, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the X's and O's guy, right?
Well, with the way the passing attack is these days, obviously that's been a big reason. I think the downgrade in the position. I don't know if it's a negative or positive. When you think about, we think about some of the running backs from our era. They always used to talk about kind of running them into the ground pretty quickly, which now you would think they would have a little more longevity. But because I think teams have found some success with unknown names, there's a little more freedom to try to pop in younger players, and they've had kind of the same amount of success. So you haven't needed the big back like McCaffrey to kind of win a Super Bowl.
Right. You
haven't needed, but who knows? San Francisco wins that championship last year or gets to the finals.
They went to NFC Conference
Finals, right? If they win that, get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Maybe those things start to change because then you get someone like McCaffrey who's going to win the Super Bowl, who's probably an all-pro style running back.
Yeah.
But then you have a team like Kansas City who I think had a rookie back there who ended up winning. So.
Yeah, and here's the thing. How do you know if someone, they're saying they're underpaid, so they're saying they're not, how do you really know? I mean, the market is going to tell you what is fair and,
unfair.
Here's the thing. You're making this amount of dollars, you agreed to play for this amount of dollars. That means you're worth that amount of dollars,
Yeah, I mean, they're still making good money.
Yeah, well,
but it's probably just not as much as
I think,
some of their teammates around them.
Yeah, I mean, you've got second option wide receivers, maybe even third option wide receivers on some teams that are making more than the number one running back.
Yeah.
So it's either beef, but
yeah. Well, look at the Lions. I mean, they're really going with kind of two. I mean,
until Jamal Williams is back. I mean.
Yeah, well, they got rid of their touchdown guy from last year. I can't think of his name right now off the top of my head. Who's the guy who scored all the touchdowns?
No, Jamal Williams. He's suspended.
Oh,
yeah.
That's Jamal Williams? I thought they lost. I thought they let the running back
go.
No,
DeAndre Swift.
DeAndre Swift.
But Jamal Williams is the one that scored all the touchdowns.
Oh, he didn't move on?
No, he's suspended for 6 games.
Really?
But then they signed David Montgomery.
Yeah.
And then the rookie.
Yeah.
Who I just heard today, Tim Twentyman, who would be another great guest for us to get on the program. Tim Twentyman, Detroit Lions, he covers the Detroit Lions for the Detroit Lions. He said, and I'm sorry, I apologize, I can't think of the rookie's name, but he said that watching him so far in camp, he believes he is the best wide receiver or the best receiving running back that he's seen in like the 15 years or so or whatever he's been with the Detroit Lions, covering the Detroit Lions.
Wow, that's kudos to him. I mean, all the comparisons were that of the he has a little bit of likeness from the New Orleans running back.
Alvin Kamara?
Yeah, Kamara.
Okay.
So.
And Alvin Kamara, still haven't heard how many games he's going to be suspended. They said the max is 6.
Okay.
But a lot of people are saying 4.
Huh. That's a gambling issue as well, huh?
Was it a domestic violence?
Oh, I don't know.
Fact checkers, get on it.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know.
I thought it was a domestic violence situation.
Man.
So fantasy football implications there with Kamara and Jamal Williams. I mean, Jamal Williams would be a huge, if he were to replicate what he did last year with all those touchdowns, he'd be a huge pickup for a fantasy football owner. But what do you do when the guy is suspended for the first 6 games of the season?
And again, it's a running back by committee type of thing, right? So you never know. I mean,
But if he's going to get the touches in the red zone or along the goal line,
could be some fantasy value there.
Yes. So anyway, we are on to football. I believe the first preseason game is within the next couple weeks here already. First preseason game, Hall of Fame game. And then, right around the corner, week 1. Second Sunday in September. So we are rapidly approaching.
Yep. They'll start to pick up here in the next month, right?
Yeah. And then college football will start in the next probably 3 weeks, maybe. Yeah. First games.
Fun time, right? Getting a little break in the summer here. Now we're going to start picking up some sports.
All right, I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with more of the Attack the Rack podcast. And welcome back to the Attack the Rack podcast.
Outside of football, though, Scott Rowland and Fred McGriff just...
Big dog.
The crime dog.
The crime dog.
Crime dog.
Thank you.
Also made famous for a younger generation with his TV commercials for the Tom Amansky baseball training videos. I don't know if you remember those commercials. Classic.
He was a big lefty.
First baseman. I think we were talking about this a little bit earlier. Scott Rowland. His career was more so, as at least for me, and I believe probably for you too, as we were getting older and kind of not watching as much baseball. So it's hard to really say a whole lot about Scott Rowland. Great career.
Third baseman.
Phillies. I think most known for with the Cardinals.
Okay.
But he did play for 4 or 5 different teams. When you look at his numbers, I don't feel like they necessarily look to me like Hall of Fame numbers, but the way a lot of Hall of Fame voters like to vote is they like to say, okay, in his era, where did he rank among others in his position? And certainly if you vote that way, he was definitely one of the best third basemen during his years in Major League Baseball. But both of us, when we were both into baseball, Fred McGriff was the man.
Yeah, he was. Yes. And big name, right? Big at the plate.
Yeah, won a World Series with the Braves in '95.
Was that early on in his career then? '95?
No, that was more towards the end.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he played for the Blue Jays for a number of years prior to that.
Okay.
But yeah, just a really fun guy to watch. He hit 493 career home runs. I mean, when I think of him as a home run hitter.
Yeah.
But to almost get to 500, that's pretty impressive. And he
elite company if you can get to that 500.
500 is the number in baseball, yes. And he played during the strike, so if not for the strike, he would have been well over
that 500. Right.
Well over 500.
I always feel like he probably hit for average okay as well. It could be way off, but average. I'm saying that 300 just below,
probably a little below that. But
he was probably
in his era. Guys weren't hitting 300.
Yes,
it was like a big deal if you hit 300.
Yeah,
back then.
Right at 300.
Yeah. It was like back then, 270 was a really good hitter.
Yeah.
So congrats to Fred McGriff.
Okay, so he's in.
He's in. Yeah. Him and Scott Rowland. Yep. So one thing that always kind of comes up during this time of year when they do the Hall of Fame is all these guys that are not in due to steroids. So you've got guys like A-Rod and Manny Ramirez and Roger Clemens and Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa, Barry Bonds,
Jose Canseco.
Yeah, Jose Canseco. Hey, he was my favorite player in the late '80s, early '90s. Well, late '80s.
What were they? The
Bash Brothers and Mark McGwire. Yeah. So.
Hey, not to interrupt, but weren't all those posters with the nicknames is really awesome?
Yes.
They need to bring something back like that. That might draw some more people in.
Exactly. Not all of those guys have necessarily even Barry Bonds has never tested positive for steroids. It's just assumed. Let's throw it out there. Let's assume all those guys. Absolutely, we're using steroids. Are you okay with them being left out of the Hall of Fame because of that?
I don't think I am. I think that was a time in history where again I think it's very clouded as to what they were using, what was illegal, what was considered not illegal. Was it probably morally wrong for them? Most likely yes.
Yeah.
That they probably shouldn't have. But again, I don't know. Like they kind of took the rules as far as they could. Some of them probably went over, and maybe they need to be penalized a little more. I don't know if all of them went over. It's like keeping Pete Rose out of the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah.
It's a
greatest hitter of all time.
Yeah, and just Charlie Hustle, Did he knowingly broke the rules, I think. So, he probably is paying the price, but Barry Bonds was my favorite player growing up.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Again, I think he probably would have been in the Hall of Fame had he not used the enhancement.
I think all those guys would have.
Most likely.
And someone like Mark McGwire, he's come out and he said, I believe that, it wasn't used. They didn't use steroids to, be better baseball players or be able to hit the ball farther or hit home runs more often. According to him, they use it for injury recovery.
And I guess you look at that and you wonder, are Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa, and Barry Bonds?
Yeah.
If they don't use the enhancements. Are they reaching the numbers that were almost unbelievable? I think they would have probably been probably Hall of Famers either way.
Yes.
At least McGwire and Bonds.
Yeah.
Would those numbers have been even more ballooned or crazy? That's I guess the part you got to think about.
Yeah, I don't know what the answer is. I just feel very strongly that without steroids, all those guys would be clear-cut Hall of Famers anyway. But how do you know?
You don't know, and you don't.
And I think a lot of people believe, like early on in Barry Bonds' career, he wasn't using them. A-Rod early on wasn't using them, and they were still putting up Hall of Fame numbers before getting into it. So,
And was it really ever illegal what they were doing?
No, that's it.
Yeah. And again, I'm not a baseball guy, so
steroids are illegal, by the law, but Major League Baseball didn't necessarily have a rule against it, and they didn't test for it.
Yeah.
So
and I'm not a baseball guy, so I guess if you're a true baseball person, there's some sanctity in like trying to keep the Hall of Fame fresh and responsible. So maybe that has the guys who are voting on that are probably the ones who got to make that decision.
Why don't you guys let us know in the comments what you guys think? Should steroid users be in the Hall of Fame? Should guys like Barry Bonds, who've never actually even tested positive ever, be in the Hall of Fame? Let us know in the comments what you think. Speaking of the comments, I want you guys to give us your top 3 of what we're going to get into here in a moment. This week's top 3. I want to know your top 3. Let us know in the comments. But before we get that, Ryan, the world of comedy lost a legend just a few days ago. A sports fanatic. One of his characters was kind of a sports guy. The guy's name was Ron Sexton, very well known for his character Donnie Baker. Hilarious guy, untimely passing at the age of 52. So rest in peace, Ron Sexton, a.k.a. Donnie Baker.
Comedian on a show?
Yes. Yeah, he was on the, he's famous on social media and YouTube and stuff, but he was a part of the Bob and Tom radio show, morning show.
Gotcha.
So, with that being said, let's get into
top 3.
This week's top 3.
Brought to you by
Top 3 brought to you by Realtor Ryan.
Real Estate Ryan has been in real estate for over 20 years and can help you with all your real estate needs. Realtor Ryan has helped me in my journey in learning about real estate, and he can do the same for you, whether you're looking to buy, sell, or just learn more about real estate in general. Ring Realtor Ryan.
All right, so let's get into it. This week it's my choice. We are going to go top 3 running backs since 1980. So as long as they had a carry from 1980 until now, they are eligible to be part of this
discussion.
Top 3.
Okay, all right.
As always, Ryan, I'm thinking of 2 things. If you can guess it, you go first. If not,
2 things.
I go first.
Okay.
The 2 choices you got this week are, I'm looking back here. We've got a new set, guys. New set.
Dale, you've done a great job.
Yes, thank you, producer Dale, and Ryan, and another buddy of ours helped producer Dale out with this. Great job, guys. I am thinking of either Jose Canseco or Chris Webber.
Man.
If you can guess which guy I'm thinking
50-50.
of. Yep. If you can guess which guy I'm thinking of, you go first. If not, I go first.
Can I say Jose Webber?
No, you cannot say Jose Webber.
Darn it. All right. I'm going to go Chris Webber.
Wrong again.
Man.
You were super close. But no.
One of these times I'm going to get it.
Jose Canseco, my favorite player in like 1989, 1990. I did get to go see him play live in Toronto. Oakland was in town. We went on a little trip to Toronto, watched back-to-back night games at the new, it was new then, the Sky Dome.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it's called now. And Jose Canseco was just come off injury. We didn't even know if he was going to be playing. And he just came off injury. We were sitting in left field for one of the 2 games, and he hit a home run like 5 rows in front of me.
Oh, man.
So that was pretty cool. Would have been even cooler if he would have hit it 5 rows deeper. Maybe if he would have injected a little bit more juice, maybe he would have hit it 5 rows deeper into the hands of myself.
But if he was coming up injured, it didn't help him that much, huh?
yeah. So anyway, this week's top 3 best all-time running backs that had a carry, at least one carry, from 1980 until now. I go first. Number 1 pick, Barry Sanders.
Ooh, wow. Going hometown, boy. All right. I'm going Bo Jackson.
Nice. Bo Jackson, great pick. Not only the best player on Tecmo Super Bowl and the original Tecmo Bowl, probably the best video game character of all time, period, regardless of genre of game. I mean, incredible. Okay, so I went Barry Sanders number 1. You went Bo Jackson number 1. My number 2 then, I'm going to go Walter Payton.
It's a good pick, Kurt. It's a good pick. Can't go wrong with Walter. Number two. Let me see. Man. Put me on the spot. I think I'll probably get a little bit of kickback on this one, but I think...
Give him kickback in the comments, guys.
Yeah, please. Always had a great offensive line. But Mr. Dependable, Emmitt Smith.
Yeah, he was good. Now, I know you're a fan of Jason Brown.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Jason Brown. I don't know if you tune into his... I mean, he's got 2 or 3 podcasts or shows on YouTube every single day. During the season, he has a show with Sean Salisbury where they break down film. He doesn't even have Emmitt Smith in like his top 10 Dallas Cowboys of all time.
Oh, really?
Same with Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he'll say, he admits Patrick Mahomes is probably the best player right now, but he does not think that Patrick Mahomes is one of the all-time greats.
Which we would agree he's not quite there.
Yeah.
But those are strong words, and he's a very opinionated guy.
He is, but super entertaining.
Entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, Emmitt Smith. I mean, I get it. He had a lot of stuff going for him, but he still got the job done.
He did.
And some guys couldn't get the job done. So.
He did, but I think his point is, like, when you think of Emmitt Smith, did he really ever even have a really iconic run?
No, but he was Mr. Dependable.
Yeah.
You needed a yard, he got a yard. You needed 4, he got 4.
Yeah.
I mean, did he ever let them down?
No.
Okay.
Can you imagine if Barry Sanders had that line?
Yeah, you know what? I always think that if he would have had the same type of line, he probably would have had more success as a team, obviously.
Yeah.
But we might not have seen
the iconic runs.
Yes.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
All right, my number 3, my last pick. So I got Barry Sanders number 1, Walter Payton number 2. Number 3. There's 3 guys that I'm trying to choose from.
Ooh.
And I'll tell you the other 2 after we're done.
Okay.
But I'm going to go Jerome Bettis.
Ooh, the bus.
Yeah.
The bus. Good pick. All right. I think I'm going to go a little different direction because the bus was a grueler, pounder.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with my number 3 guy as a lot of good ones out there.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Marshall Faulk.
Okay, good.
I just like the versatility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was... Oh, sorry.
No, we're good. I'm good.
No, versatility, yeah. I mean, he was kind of the originator of the,
kind of a third down back, but a full-time
receiving running back.
Yeah.
So he was one of the 3 I was
contemplating.
The other one was LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yeah, he had a good run there.
He had a good career, long career.
He did have a good one. And the other ones?
Well, I mean, there's other guys like maybe, Curtis Martin.
Yeah. Not quite his name style.
Terrell Davis.
Yeah, he's kind of in that Emmett Smith kind of territory, I would say.
I was trying to think. Is there anyone like currently that you would even?
I think McCaffrey's in that. I think
if he can stay healthy.
Yes, and that's hard.
Derrick Henry.
Which one?
Derrick Henry.
Yeah. If you put him on a good team, he probably has a little different reputation as well, right? He just hasn't found the success yet.
Yeah.
Which you see they're bringing back the throwback Oiler uniform.
Are they really?
They are.
Nice.
Yeah, just at least I think a game. I don't think for the whole season.
Okay.
I think, but
Nice.
I saw they're bringing those back for a game here. Is that what, Tennessee now? Are they Tennessee? No.
What's that?
The Oilers, even though they're not the Oilers anymore.
Tennessee Titans.
It's Tennessee Titans. I think. Yeah. Let's make sure.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's guys that were, for some reason Jamal Lewis pops into my head, but he only short stint. Same with like a Christian Okoye. Speaking of Tecmo Super Bowl.
Oh, he was tough. Didn't they have another running back too?
Yeah.
With him?
Yes. What was his name?
Because it was like fire and ice or something like that, or.
Well, no, it was another bruiser, wasn't it? Oh, what was his name?
Christian Okoye. Help us out in the comments if you can remember the tag team running back with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I can't think off the top of my head right now either.
But I don't know. I guess there's a handful of other guys, but
it's like Barry, wasn't it Barry? Something?
Barry Word.
Barry Word.
Yes. But then you got guys. I'm not saying these classic guys from like the '90s, like Marion Butts and and then there's other guys too, like Eddie George, Sean Alexander. They're not, but there's just
they don't quite have the same. But then again, that's just how much of the position, like back in the heyday, our time, it was like running back city, like.
Right.
You wanted the best running back. Your running back had to be the best.
Yeah.
It didn't matter about the other positions as much.
Right.
So.
Right. All right. So my top 3 running backs of all time since 1980: Barry Sanders, Walter Payton, and Jerome Bettis. Yours were
Bo Jackson, Emmett Smith, Marshall Faulk.
Yes. All right. And with that, we will conclude this episode of the Attack the Rack podcast. Ryan's going to be out of town for how many days?
Like 8 days.
8 days. So I did actually record a podcast with a guest a couple weeks ago. We're going to throw that one up next week while Ryan is gone, and then we'll be back at it upon your return.
Sounds good.
All right, we will see you on the next one.
Please subscribe to the Attack the Rack YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you are updated every time we post. Also, please like, comment, and share.